Okay, back now with Richard Skinner of the Inquirer. You saw the poll question. Are the Bengals their own worst enemy heading down the stretch now as we get to Thanksgiving, or are the Browns, Steelers, or Ravens the biggest threat to the crown?
See, you're a glass half-empty guy with that question, because the Bengals can be their own best ally, because they do play Pittsburgh twice.
Yep.
They do play Cleveland once more. To me, the magic number to get to is 10 wins. I think the Bengals have the best chance to do that. If they can go to Cleveland and win, that's still a big if, because they certainly didn't beat them here.
No,
and if they
Cleveland's
can split,
good.
yeah, and Cleveland's good. If they can split with Pittsburgh, you look at the other three teams' schedules. I'm having a hard time finding a way they get to 11, and that's the magic number. The Bengals get to 10 because of that goofy tie. Everybody else has to get to 11 to win the division. The Bengals, I think, are their own best ally because I really think they've got a good chance now to get to 10 victories.
You know, as it turns out, it becomes a huge game tomorrow in New Orleans with the Ravens at the Saints, and the Saints would be losing 3 in a row at home. Is that going to happen?
It'd still somehow be tied for first if they lose.
They would. I know, because the Falcons lost today to Cleveland, of course. All right, let's talk about these Bengals. Another road win in Houston. They exercised some demons, which, look, say what you want about Houston, good, bad, or indifferent. The Bengals had trouble winning there. They couldn't win football games there, couldn't play well there. They did those things today. That helps.
Well, for Andy Dalton, it's a homecoming. I mean, Katy, Texas, where he grew up, is not very far away. It's technically a Houston suburb, although it's, 40 miles away from the stadium.
That's how it works there, though.
I was going to say, that's a heck of a suburb, for goodness sakes. But still, for him to go down there after he had 2 horrible performances in the playoff game, he was 0-3 against Houston, and he threw the pick 6. But, Mike, after the pick 6, he wasn't great, but he wasn't awful. He made just enough throws in key situations to get them a victory.
Huge on third down in both of these games, at New Orleans, at Houston. The percentage will say a little better than 50% today, which isn't amazing, but
pretty good.
It's very good, and many of them were either plays which continued scoring drives or plays which continued to kill the clock late, which was big. Yeah,
I mean, they had a couple of 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 7s. They converted. Sanu made a huge catch. Gresham on the ground, of all things. I mean, he was on his knees to make a catch down the field. Made a huge catch. They made a lot of big plays when they had to make them. They've shown the last 2 weeks they've got a little fight and grit in them, for goodness sakes.
Why does Ray Maluga look better now after a severe hamstring injury than he did in all of his years since coming out of USC?
I thought the same thing. He was side to side. He was sideline to sideline. He blew up the play that resulted in the safety. Technically, I think he might actually get to be the guy that actually got rewarded for that safety. I'll account to fresh legs at a time in the season when not everybody has fresh legs. Now, that can change here in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, obviously, but Ray's been really, really good. He got everybody in the right place early in the game, and I think he's been as big a key. And trust me, I've been as big a critic, Mike, of him as has ever come along. I mean, he
has his critics.
He's been horrible in the pass game. He's missed a lot of tackles. He doesn't make plays, but the last 2 weeks, the guy's been great.
Okay, what do you do with Vontaze Burfict? You're at Tampa next week, assuming on paper your favorite, et cetera. What do you do with Vontaze next week?
If he's healthy to play, you play him. And that's the way, we talked about this last week, that's the way the league is. It's like Gio. The week before, he got some stuff done on the side, and you could tell it was going to be, all right, now when Wednesday comes along the following week, this past week, he was going to practice, which he did. And he practiced a little more each and every day. And obviously today he was a factor in the game. I think the same thing for Vontaze. Now, Vontaze didn't take as big a step forward last week as Gio took the week before, but he did work a little bit on the side, and I think it's a thing where we'll see on Wednesday. If he's out there practicing, it'll probably be limited, but if he's out there practicing, I will tell you, if he practices Wednesday, he will play on Sunday. If he doesn't, then it's still a 50-50 proposition.
Are you surprised they're 2-0 on this 3 games in a row on the road stretch?
I'd be stupid if I told you I wasn't surprised, because based on New Orleans, which is a tough place to play, and they had already lost the game. They don't lose 2 in a row. And then to follow that up with going to a place where you have just historically not had success, especially recent history with your quarterback, to me, those are 2 huge, huge wins. They have completely negated the loss to Cleveland. Now, that would have been big in retrospect, but it's totally wiped that out, because if you'd have given me the win against Cleveland, I'd have taken a split with these 2.
Absolutely.
And everybody, I think everybody in the organization would have taken that split.
All right, A.J. Green, whatever they did to the toe during those 3 games he missed, it worked.
Cut it off.
Insert they would, maybe Ronnie Lott style.
Exactly.
But he'd have trouble running.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks great. Looks like this will not be an issue going forward, which obviously is very good news.
No, in fact, I even held my breath. The play in the end zone where he didn't get his second foot down, and he really didn't give it a great try to. But when I saw him have to twist and get one foot down and then try to tamp the other one down, and he didn't get a toe part of it down, that to me showed that he was back. That was the one play where I thought, all right, he looks like he's back, but that was the one play where in theory, if he's not healthy, he's just going to go out of bounds all the way. And granted, he did not catch it, but that to me was a huge, huge sign. And my goodness, you could tell early he was yapping. You could hear him yapping. He was ready to go.
And with Mo Sanu, they essentially have two number ones playing right now. Let me ask you quickly about Tampa. We said we're a little bit surprised by the 2-0 stretch on the road so far. Awfully hard to win 3 in a row on the road in the NFL. But if you lose this one, now it all becomes a disappointment.
It blows a lot of stuff up.
It does, because Tampa's so bad.
Well, and the funny part was, I thought early in the game today when Tampa was beating Chicago 10-0 and looking really good, I thought, wow, they're starting to play pretty good. They won last week. They might win this game on the road. They are.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, they're going to carry this over. But, no, I think the Bengals right now, I think the confidence is back. And them being on the road to getting Andy Dalton away from home for a couple of weeks has been really good for everybody.
And this will be the last layup, so to speak, they have.
Yeah.
They know they got to
You have to win it. You have to win it.
Yep. All right, Richard, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.